Test, test. 1, 2. Hey, yep. 1, 2. Speak in the room. Hey, hey, hey. How you doing? We got that? Yeah, yep, yep. Check, check, check. You on a loop?
turn me on just by looking at me. A thunder, a lightning, just one simple breeze. I go back to the night that I spent in your bed. We laughed and we talked, and I'm trying to forget that I didn't dare to kiss you back then. 'Cause you must have thought, if not now, then when? When I think about you, my heart turns soft. When I think about you, it seems like I've never loved before. The angel with the darkness and a smile. Don't think I can forget you, at least not for a while. 'Cause I feel the way I think you are supposed to feel. And it can't be just me, I think you know that this is for real. Oh, you're a part of my favorite memories, and I can't stop thinking about the Friday we spent. I'll be annoying, never know when to stop. You ghost your lovers 'cause you don't know down from up. When I think about you, my heart turns soft. When I think about you, it seems like I've never loved before. The angel with the darkness and a smile. Don't think I can forget you, at least not for a while.
Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening. I hope that you have all had a fantastic day. I hope that you've all taken some pictures outside because no one is going to believe the weather that we've had in London today. Luck is truly on our side. So I know you've heard this a few times today. I just wanted to remind everybody to please hold on to those feedback forms, keep track of them, and give them back before you leave the hotel tonight. I'm happy to announce that we are still on track to complete our Millennium mission of making a charitable donation of £1,000. Keep it up. Meetings have been going great so far. So before I introduce our phenomenal keynote tonight, I wanted to pass the mic over to Ash with Island, and he's going to deliver a wonderful toast.
And not sure about the word wonderful, but we'll give it a go. So ladies, gentlemen, esteemed colleagues and friends, I wanted to welcome everyone here tonight. It's been a really tough few months. If you think back what's happened over the last couple of months and few months, we've had like the geopolitical situations, we've had heritage UK retailers getting dealt blow after blow. There's been supply chains being hacked. There's all sorts of stuff going on in our world, right? And yet this room here tonight is full. It's full of great people, wonderful executives, those same executives that are working 16-hour days, 17-hour days, those 3 a.m. conversations around ransomware, the last minute, hey, we need you to present to the board tomorrow why we're not the next. I actually feel like we all deserve a bit of a pay rise. But that's the situation that we're in. And we come to these events not necessarily to hear from the vendors, not necessarily to join the sessions, although they have been fantastic today. We've heard how to speak to the board in an appropriate manner. We've heard how to bring AI into an organization in a safe and secure manner. So there's been some great content. But I think overall, the thing that really brings us to these events is the collaboration, the team spirit, the conversations that wouldn't normally occur, those water cooler conversations about how did you get this done there? How did you manage to stave off that here? Those are the conversations that keep us coming back with our colleagues. And that is the bit, you think about those newspaper headlines, those are the bits that the newspapers don't see. They don't see that collaboration. We can stay ahead of the adversary if we continue to collaborate, and that's our secret sauce. That's what keeps this sector and this industry as one and keeps us a step ahead. So I'd like to raise a glass, if we all could join us. Let's raise a glass to the community that we have, the team spirit that we have, and everything that we bring to the table. So thank you all. And then I'd also like to, this is the main bit now, not me, but I'd like to hand over to a wonderful gentleman who's got a phenomenal career. You're going to hear a bit from him today. He's a wonderful speaker who's had a phenomenal career. Michael is actually the current CISO of Hayes, and we're very, very lucky to have him. I spent literally 2 minutes with him before, and it was an incredible time. So we're very lucky. Michael Beaupre, welcome, sir, and take it away.
Thank you. Can you hear me okay? Yeah. Okay, so I can guarantee you a few things tonight. One, I will talk fast, so slow me down. Two, I will butcher the English language because I speak American. It's a promise. And three, this will not be as funny or as cool or as creative as the keynote was this morning, because that was pretty awesome. But I'm going to try to keep you entertained, okay? And the person up here speaking is just an old man who's been around a long time. And I'll talk about that a little bit. The most important people speaking is you. This is going to be an interactive conversation, okay? And this is kind of one of my favorite quotes. Yesterday's operations cannot sustain tomorrow's world. Would you all agree with that statement? Now, how often do you see yesterday's operations still running and trying to protect tomorrow's world? So the people who change that are the people in this room. And more importantly than the people in this room are the brilliant young minds that you all lead, because they are the future. So one of my favorite sayings when I'm on stage working together with some young people that I'm mentoring is, why is a guy like me, old and crusty on stage, with a young, talented, brilliant person that I usually bring on stage with me? And the answer is, I am the past, she is the future, but together we are the present. And this is a passion of mine, is preparing organizations and people for the future. So a little bit about myself before we get too much into this, just so you know who this old man is up here. And yes, I am old. The AV team is very talented. They make me look much younger than I am, I think. I don't know. Maybe he looks old. Could be. So those of you who can see the code down here on the bottom, it's kind of hard to get it. If you scan that, all of your money comes to my account. So please, scan. Why are no phones going up? So if you scan this, it goes to LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn. You can see things I post about, things I talk about. It's very similar to what I'm going to talk about today. Now, I've worked in a wide variety of industries. Yeah, I remember working on command line interfaces when Cisco was a scale-up. God, I really feel old. Yeah, I've been in the U.S. military for a very long time. I worked in 12 different industries, and I've seen some amazing things and met some amazing people. I chased drug dealers in Key West, Florida, working with 27 different countries, and the CIA, the NSA, the FBI, the DEA, other three letters I can't say, and the Army, Navy, Coast Guard, Marines, Air Force. And those are very diverse operations trying to bring together fundamentally different operating models, cultures, thinking styles across multiple countries. Yeah, so when I was in the Air Force, I thought I knew everything. When I went to chase drug dealers, I realized I didn't know anything and had a lot to learn. And it was a wonderful education of how when you bring the right people together across diverse organizations, diverse places, you accomplish things that people say cannot be done. Because criminals, they're faster than us. We know that. They're faster. And I'll talk about that as we go through the presentation. Now, again, you can scan this code to find out more about me. I've worked with small companies, I work with big companies, and everything in between. And the most amazing people I've seen sometimes are in some of the smallest and most unknown and obscure companies. And when I find them, I try to get them in front of the big players and show them just how great they are so they can shine. Maybe you all have done the same thing as well. So, this right here, developing next generation digital leaders. How many of you are doing that? One person, two people, three people, four people. Okay, the arm's starting to come up. I got your attention again. How do you do that? Mentoring. I love that. What does that mean? Sorry? Guiding. Put them on stage. Yeah, put them out front. Put them in the driver's seat. Don't drive and say, oh, you see what I'm doing? You see, does it look okay for you? Yeah? Okay, do it later. No, put them in the car and let them drive. So how many of you take one of your young mentors you're developing and have them go brief the board for you? Who does that? How's that work for you? What's the reaction of that particular person you're mentoring? They're scared? Uh-huh. That's it. That's it. Perfect. So you don't do it the way my father taught me how to swim. He said, swim. And I said, blah, blah, blah. And he said, no. Swim. You can learn that way, but it's a little bit painful sometimes. Now, a little bit about Hayes, just so you guys know who Hayes is. Who's not heard of Hayes? Wow, we're well known in this country because we're here. One of the things I didn't know about Hayes, which was interesting for me, I did not know before I came to Hayes 3 years ago that we operate in 33 countries and 4 continents. I did not know that we make around $9 billion in revenue. And I had no idea that we put a person in a job on average every 22 seconds. What does it take to do something like that? It takes a network, it takes connections, it takes relationships, it takes trust to be able to do something like that. So, we're going to talk about some things. What's on the screen? What is that? F1. Who likes F1? Who doesn't know what F1 is? You know, hands. Why do you raise your hand, yeah? Why do you like F1?
I watched it since I was a kid. I like the tactics of it. I like the speed of it. I like the jeopardy of it.
Yes. It's edge of your seat. It's moving. It's fast. It's also really loud. I went to my first F1 race not too long ago, and I was surprised how loud it was. So how many CISOs or security-related people are in the room? Just put your hands up if you're related to security. Okay. How many of you are on the other side of the fence? IT, chief digital officer, put your hands up. Well, so some of you who didn't raise your hand are either sleeping or don't know what you do. That's okay. I'll help you figure it out. So around 50-50, right? Now, let me ask you a question. So let's use this race car and just talk about it a little bit, right? So the IT people, chief digital officers, CIOs, yeah? You guys are the speed, right? First to market, move fast, innovate. Would you be the engine? Would you be the thing making that car go fast? Yes or no? Maybe, maybe not. Okay. Probably why? You said probably?
No, I don't think so that we want to go really fast. We want to have the right speed.
Okay, I like this, the right speed. Formula One, so I picked that because Formula One has lots of twists and turns. So it goes fast and it slows down and it speeds up. That's right, absolutely. And you said, sir, fast, right?
I'm from California,
Okay. So now security, right? So those of you who are security, are you the brakes? Are you viewed as the brakes?
Yes. Yeah. And we are the brakes. Otherwise you crash in the corner.
Yes, brakes are a good thing, not a bad thing. Also the clutch.
you can go, you don't need to use a brake only in the emergency situation, yeah? You can just brake with the engine.
But the Formula One guys, they use their brakes, trust me, yeah? But engine braking is involved, 100% true.
To be the first,
Yeah.
it's always to be there when you are planning to be.
Yeah. What is the purpose of brakes?
Let you go faster.
Absolutely. To let you go faster. Now, just think about this, right? If you put brakes from, I don't know what's it called, a Yugo? Do you have Yugos over here? Sorry? Woodham? If you put the brakes, yeah. If you put those on this car, what would happen? They'd burn up. They'd catch fire. No. So what happens if you're driving what's it called again? A Yugo, and you put these brakes on it? Be pretty damn expensive brakes, wouldn't it? So I guess the point, you have security and you have IT, but you work together to make the car go fast and go slow at the right time. Sometimes you don't want the brakes in the way. Sometimes you want the brakes because if you don't have them, you go flying through the wall or you go flying off the course. So how do you relate to your security teams if you're in the CIO space and the CDO space? So what's the relationship that you have with them? Was that too broad of a question? I mean, easier. Do you like your security team? Oh, he shook his head no. You don't like your security team? What's wrong with them? So what's the dynamic? How many of you in the CIO space has a security team working for you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. 6. Yeah, okay. How does that work? So they work for you. What's the relationship? Do you say, we're going fast, get out of my way? Or do you say, slow me down so I don't crash? What's the relationship for you? What determines which? I like this. Trust. Yeah, trust. Yeah, so think about this. These cars today, if they used yesterday's technology, what would happen, right? So some stats for you. I don't know if you know this or not. So in 1975, that's 50 years ago, right? 3.5 seconds to go from 0 to 60. Today, 2.5 seconds. It's an increase. It's not dramatic, but it's a pretty good increase. And then top speed, 122, 233. That's a pretty fast increase. How about a pit stop? Did you know the world record for a pit stop? Did you know that's what it was? 1.8 seconds. Change the tires, put in more gas, fan the driver down so he doesn't pass out, yeah, and get back on the road. 1.8 seconds. Look what the time was in 75. Who's really good at math? Because I'm not. Andy. So what's the percentage increase here? I need somebody good at math. Can you be my mathematician? Get a calculator if you need it. What's the percentage increase? Who knows it? What's the percentage increase there on the pit stop? 15. Okay, that's massive, right? From 30 seconds to 1.8 seconds, that's a massive, massive improvement. But the rest didn't improve as much. So, and that's just one representative example. You can look at braking systems, you can look at a whole bunch of different security things. Why is security improving faster than the other side? Say again? I can't hear you. New tools. Yes, this helps. We have new tools on the other side too. There's new engines. Why is the security and the speed of the pit crew and all this stuff, why is that increasing so fast? Who said that? Was that you, Ricardo Cabani? Was that you? That's behind you. Okay, I got a big light in my face. Because if you don't increase the speed, you don't increase the security, people die, right? It's life or death. So they have to make sure that the pit stops are done correctly. So they're fast, but they're still accurate. You don't want to be fast with the tire and the tire comes off moving to those speeds. It's going to be a massive crash. So the engine, the components, the CIO side improves, but the security side improves faster or more. That's interesting. Is it the same in our organization, in our world we live in? Or does the other side, does the IT side improve faster? Keep it in the back of your head. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. So now let's talk about speed of decisions, right? Because we're talking about speed, right? So, you're driving 230 miles an hour, and you got to stop and turn a corner really quick. How much time you have to decide and prepare to turn that corner? How much? Yeah, milliseconds, virtually no time at all. Now you're driving a big bus, and you're driving down. Oh, who's ever been to Australia? You ever seen these? They're called land trains. You ever seen them? Yeah, like 3 or 4 trailers. That sucker's moving at 100 miles an hour, and it takes about 3 days to stop. Right? So reaction time, right? Time to decision. How do you make fast decisions? What do you need to make fast decisions? Information. You need information, correct. What else do you need to make fast decisions? Capability, absolutely. Experience, absolutely. Anything else? Practice, training. Guts. Yeah, you need significant guts to make. And what happens when these cars, they turn really fast? They create G-forces. You ever seen the neck of a Formula One racer? It's like thick muscle because they're pulling massive G-forces, yeah? If you turn a bus full of passengers as fast as you turn a Formula One race car, yeah, I hear you laughing. Everyone goes to sleep. They pass out and the bus tips over, falls, a big problem. So high-performance movements have an impact on the passengers, on the people involved, right? In our industry as well. So I have something else for you to look at now. Who knows what this is? Those of you who are military folks. What is it? Sounds cool. OODA loop. Yeah, who said OODA loop? What is it? Top Gun. Yes, it is Top Gun, yes.
It's how to orient yourself in a dogfight.
Yes, absolutely. Do you guys know who created the OODA loop? Colonel John Boyd. Yeah, he did. Yeah, well done. Yeah. Now, say again. He can read. Observation. So, John Boyd, absolutely, Colonel Boyd. Now, he revolutionized air-to-air combat. He actually revolutionized the way aircraft fly. Now, what was the John Boyd challenge? You remember it? Anybody know what it was? Any military folks? So, what Colonel Boyd said, he challenged anybody to get into the air with him, and he would beat them in 30 seconds or less in an air-to-air combat fight, simulated fight. And he never lost because he used this model right here, the OODA loop. So the OODA loop works like this. Observe, orient, decide, act. That's how it works. Observation of what's happening to you, orient to the situation, make a decision, take action, repeat. Whoever does that faster wins. An easy explanation. It's more complicated than that, right? An easy explanation. So now the question is, how do you make the OODA loop faster? How do you increase the OODA loop? What in those 4 domains makes it speed up the fastest? Because you want fast decisions, right? You want a faster decision than your adversary, than your competitors, than the criminals, than whoever you're against, whoever's trying to stop you. You want to be faster than them. Observation. Okay, observation. So practice, yeah. Which of these 4, right? So observe, orient, decide, act. Which of the 4? So you said observation, yeah? Decide? Okay, anybody else? Sorry? Observe, okay. Any others? All. Yeah, that's a great answer. Take them all. Why not? That's the easy answer. You're actually right, it's all of them. But the one that makes it speed up the most, this is kind of interesting, is orient. The faster you orient, the faster you decide, the faster you act. And what's interesting is what you said observe, and a couple of you said observe. The way to increase your ability to orient is to widen your observation aperture. Take in a broader observation point. Now, what are we taught in MBA school? Focus, focus, focus on your one thing and make it great. And you reduce your observation aperture. So there's a phenomenon, you can't tell by looking at me because I'm a bit overweight these days. I was an Olympic fighter in judo. And then I broke my back and my life changed, and it was actually the best thing ever happened to me because I got married and found a wonderful wife and blah, 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 blah. So when I used to fight, my coach had a very interesting thing he told us. He said, have you ever seen the phenomenon where things just slow down to slow motion? You ever heard of that for elite athletes? The zone, absolutely. It's called the zone. Yes, 100%. What causes the zone? How do you get into that zone? And sorry? Drugs? Somebody say drugs? No. Oh my God, who said drugs? Repetition. Yeah, absolutely, repetition. So what happens is your brain is amazing at taking information and slicing it up into small components. And so when you have a very narrow observation aperture, your brain takes it, processes it, and you're done. And he said that there's police officers who they go out and they go to the firing range and they're firing at targets, and suddenly everything's just moving slow motion. They see every single target in slow motion. It pops up really fast. This target looks really giant. What's actually happening is because they've practiced so many different setups, so many different pieces beforehand, their brain takes it all, slows it all down, and it feels like it's happening in slow motion, but it's happening still in real time. I had that happen to me. So when I was a beginner in fighting, I'd grab the guy, yeah, and poof, I was on the ground. I said, what the hell happened? I don't know how I got here. Yeah, and then a few years later, I was fighting these really good guys, and I remember I was fighting with him, and I said, oh, he's going to foot sweep me. I better lift my foot, and I looked down, and it was already in the air by itself. I said, hey, what the hell happened? Yeah, and I could get a cup of coffee, have a sandwich, read the newspaper before we finished the fight, because I started seeing everything really, really, really slow motion. I could orient extremely fast because I had a broad orientation aperture. Now, in our world, what we do, how do you increase the orientation aperture? How do you see more? Yeah, what does that mean? How do you get visibility? Better intel. Where's it come from? You guys have been talking about it all day long. Information, yeah? Sorry? Cut the noise, yeah? But you got to take in more. So how does AI work? How do these AI systems that you train the model? Do you feed it just one thing? You feed it massive data sets, right? And the more massive data sets you feed it, the more experience it has, the better it orients, then the faster you can make decisions. So it feeds the loop, right? So in our jobs, whether you're security side or you're the IT side, we need to explore how do we increase our observation aperture. So how many of you work in an organization that has no silos? There's no hands in the air. So every single silo you have in your organization is there for a reason. It serves a purpose, right? You're focused, you're developing this. But if you're working on enterprise systems, you need to understand what happens across those silos. And the better you understand what happens across those silos, the faster you can orient, the better decisions you can make, and the faster you can act. So that's why the boards, what are they always asking for? What do they want to know? How much it costs, yeah. They want to know cost. What else do they want to know? Do they look at only one business unit? How many of you report to a board member? Okay, I'll pick on you. What do you and your board member talk about? Risk. From what perspective? Cost. Cost. Yeah. Enterprise. Yeah. How many silos does the board look across? All. And so when we're able to give them more information distilled that they can process and orient to faster, they can make better decisions, they can make faster decisions. Now, how many of your boards take a long time to make a decision? Nobody? Half an hour. I want to work in your company. Give me a job. Half an hour. I love that. That's great. So we're talking about increase the observation aperture, be able to orient, make a decision, and act faster, and leveraging tools and technology that allow us to do that. Now, here's some interesting statistics for you. You guys ready? Well, maybe I don't show them. No, okay, let's just show them. Who's the good math person again? What percentage increase is that? Yeah, massive. 1.43 million percent? It's like Rain Man. It's like that's fantastic. It's like, how much is the candy bar? No, sorry, I'm picking on you. That's really fantastic. So look at the other side, right? And again, this is just one statistic. Yeah. Who knows what dwell time is? What's dwell time? What is it? Yeah, when you find, so dwell time is the average amount of days it takes between they got in and you found them, right? And the average dwell time actually didn't even exist back in 75. That's actually from much later. Dwell time used to be 350 days, right? Till you knew somebody was in your network and didn't belong there, right? What's your dwell time on a outage in SAP? When do you know it's down? When they call you, hey, it's down. I can't do anything. I'm losing millions a minute. Hey, do something about it. Yeah. So, and look at the percentage increase. So what's this percentage increase? From 350 down to 10 to 16. Who's the math guy? So I think it's like 90 or something like this. I don't know. But look at the difference. So here's my question for you, okay? Your IT setup, it's a Formula One race car. It's fast. Look what it can do. Look what it processes. It's fast. Is it using 1975 brakes still? Why? Why? Why don't we invest more in security to keep up with the pace of change and speed in IT? What stops us? Yeah.
Because we don't know the track ahead of time.
We don't understand the track. We don't know the terrain. 100%. Very good. We don't see the value. What other reasons? What other things stop us from doing a balanced investment? Buy more stuff. What do you mean by that? I like that. Go on. Buy more stuff. Buy. So what do we like to buy? Say again? What do we like to buy? Shiny bells and whistles, yeah. Things that are pretty, things that go fast, things that are gonna make us a ton of money. Yeah. And then, you want money for security? Yeah, that takes money. It doesn't actually make us any money. You know that pit crew we talked about? 1.8 seconds, right? How did they get that fast? What did they do? What do you guys think? Say again? They failed. Yeah, and from each failure, they learned, right? But what did they do? So do they go in with the same wrench every time and turn the wheels? How do they do this? You ever seen them? It's like off it goes. What enables them to do that? Practice. What else? Training. Synchronization. Yes, absolutely. Everybody has a specific role. They use specific technology as well, right? Designed to make them faster at changing those tires. They create the technology to support the operation moving faster, right? But we do it the opposite way. We make the operation go faster and say, hey, find some brakes. Figure it out. Maybe. Say again? Oh, I like that. The driver is absolutely critical. Yes, because his style of driving determines how you create the brakes and what kind of brakes you buy and how that car corners. Is it tight? Is it loose? Same in the organization. Yeah, so I love this. So what is the most important safety feature of a vehicle? Steering wheel, seat. Yeah, what else? Driver. The driver, 100%. That means, what is the most important safety feature of your organization? People, yeah. It's the driver. Who's the driver? Sometimes nobody. That thing's just running down the road and is going to hit a wall. It's driving by. It's autonomous. Hey, it's already advanced. Yeah. So the driver, and it's true. Who is driving the organization? Maybe it's the board of directors. Maybe it's the shareholders. Maybe it's nobody because it just happens to be doing whatever it's doing. And that driver's changing seats depending on what's happening in the market, what's happening, what kind of acquisitions are happening. Yeah. So the reason I'm bringing all this up is I have three letters that I love, and they are CYA. Who knows what that means? Cover your ass. Yeah. Hey, man, we're going to cover your ass because you're going to get yourself in some trouble. Cover your ass. Well, I actually have different letters, meaning for those letters. Challenge your assumptions. See the world differently. Remember the OODA loop. Taking a that's German, a wider observation aperture. See things from a different angle you didn't look at it before. Orient faster. Explore how to make your decision cycle faster by looking at the world from an angle you never thought of looking at it before. So how many CISOs, how many CIOs, you said you have CISOs that works for you, right? You have IT works. Have you ever offered to do their job for a week? Why not? Give it a try. Hey, for 1 week, I'm going to do your job, okay? You show me what you do. How would that go for you? Very well? Would you enjoy it? Yeah, because you're a positive person. Yeah, you like difficult challenges. So it's a bit unrealistic, but I guess the point is try to see and experience things from different perspectives, and the world will open up for you in your OODA loop. It really will change dramatically. You're an operations guy, right? You were an operations guy in the military, yeah. So what you know the OODA loop quite well. How do you apply that to your work? How do you use that in your day-to-day operations?
Well, the idea is to take and distill information as quick as possible so you can make timely, accurate decisions. And if you do that repeatedly, you're going to get the advantage against the adversary.
Mm-hmm. And so how do you do it in a practical corporate setting? How do you do that? What's required?
Data, evidence,
Yeah.
intelligence. I suppose it's, for the back of the room, I suppose that data-driven, intelligence-led decision-making, that if it's good data, good intelligence, you're going to make the right decision. And if you can accelerate that through your Orient ideology, then hopefully you move faster and faster and it gains momentum.
Yeah, absolutely. What's the best way to get information? Yeah, talk to people. Ask questions. Ask questions. Basic stuff, right? Or train your AI to ask questions for you and capture things and capture data, capture information. Yeah, because it's hard to scale human capital, it's easy to scale technology. So, what is that? So here's a question for you. What is digital? What does it mean to you? Have I lost you guys already? We can wrap it up. Yeah. So what does digital mean to you? Means what? Work. Yeah, keeps you employed. Yeah. Yes, I like that. I like that. That's very nice. Say again? Zeros and ones, yeah. So where does the real world end and the digital world begin? Zeros and ones. Yeah. Is that border clear these days? No. The border is getting more and more porous. It's getting more and more integrated. So how many internet devices, IoT devices, are there in the world today, roughly? Loads. Yeah, billions. Gazillions. I like that answer. Gazillions. Yeah, I mean, we saw that other number. I can't even pronounce that number. What the hell did it say? Yeah, tons. So just imagine, how would your day be if you woke up and there was absolutely no IT? Yeah, heaven, bliss, paradise. We can go have a couple beers, go to the beach, yeah, grab a surfboard. Yeah. What would happen? I mean, have you ever, sorry? It is so integrated. We just had that happen. Yeah.
We don't have water, we don't have electricity, we don't have nothing.
Yeah.
I can play cards with my kids.
Hey, this is good. You play cards with your kids. So digital actually is life. And we don't really understand what that means sometimes, right? Digital actually is life now. It's embedded everywhere. How many of you were born before the internet? How many of you were born after the internet? A few. Now, how many people that work for you were born after the internet? How many of people that work for you that were born after the internet? Yeah, a lot, right? Your children, my children, yeah, born after the internet. So they grew up in a world where decisions come like this. Yeah? Who remembers the day when you had to write a letter to talk to somebody? Yeah? Pen pals, they were called. Yeah. Hello, it's so nice to see you. It takes me 25 minutes to write the letter. No, erase it, rewrite it again, send it in the mail. I wonder if they ever got it. 3 weeks later, no answer, because they just got it. Another 3 weeks later, maybe it comes back, maybe it doesn't come back. I don't know. Yep. So we grew up in this world, most of us. We grew up in this very analog, slow world, but the future leaders of the world, they didn't. So think about the OODA loop for them. How fast do they decide? How fast do they orient? Yeah, and when it's not coming fast enough, I mean, who's got kids? What happens when your kids don't get what they asked for? Are we there yet? I ordered it yesterday. It should have been there on my doorstep 3 hours later. And it's a day later and it's not there. Papa, the world is falling apart. Good God, it comes, sorry?
There is no internet.
There's no internet. What do I do? Yeah. So we are in an interesting place in the world right now because we are at the intersection between the past and the future, right? So the people that we lead, the people that we teach. You know, somebody mentioned mentorship earlier, right? It's very hard to mentor somebody when you come from a totally different paradigm than they come from, right? So we have to keep ourselves relevant. We have to keep ourselves plugged in on what digital is and how it works and how they see it. Because the way they see it and the way we see it is fundamentally different. So, what do you guys think about that speed and that growth? Thank you. Think about that, yeah? You know, when I see those numbers, it really makes me think of Terminator.
Now we know what is gazillion.
We know what it's, yeah. Think about that processing power, that number. And that's not a linear curve. That's an exponential curve. Yeah. So what does this do to our society? What does it do to our young leaders we're developing for the future? What does it do to us? You know, we are more connected ever than in the history of the world. And at the same time, we are more isolated than ever in the history of the world. Who's ever seen this? And there's 3 kids sitting around. They're going like this. And I walked in the room. My daughters were doing this. I said, what are you guys doing? Talking? But you didn't say anything. Yes, we're having a conversation. I said, who are you talking to? My friends? So the ones here in the room? Yeah. And the 15 other ones who aren't in the room. And they're just sitting there. They're sending chats to each other. This was a while ago. Now they're using voice messages at least. Yeah, but the way we connect and communicate is fundamentally changed today. So if you think about that now, for how you evaluate risk, how you feel risk. Yeah, so I have a friend of mine, he speaks in very large organizations about physical safety, right? About forklifts running people over, holding the stairs, not falling down the stairs. Why is it that companies can understand physical safety, but when it comes to digital safety, they're like, maybe. What's the difference in the two? Because the concepts are the same. Sorry? You don't see it. Yeah, you don't feel it as much. So if we had hacking devices connected to us, and we did something wrong digitally, and it's like, ah, oh, and it hurts. If we had pain, for digital mistakes, we'd respond differently. But we don't, because we don't feel it, we don't see it. It's hidden, it's masked. But look at the size, yeah? 40 billion things out there talking to each other and controlling the world we live in. Do we understand how those things even work? Really? So I read an article about 7, 8 months ago about the largest computer in the world. Who knows what it is? Supercomputer in China, okay. It's nice, it's not that. So there was an article, I got to find, I can send it to you guys, I find who wrote it. I can't remember the author now. But you're right, the largest, robot. Sorry, I got that wrong. Largest robot in the world. Yeah. Okay, Mike ruined the punchline. Yeah, goodbye. So what is the largest robot in the world? Is what? One of the botnets, yeah. Say who? Say? Megatron. Yes! Megatron, he kicked Optimus Prime's ass. So, largest computer in the world. This floored me when I read it. The largest computer in the world is the internet. Have you ever viewed the internet as a robot? It's actually a giant robot interacting with our lives and changing our lives. Yeah, changes stoplights, does manufacturing, yeah, runs mining operations. It's the largest robot in the world, and we just connected a brain to it called AI. Yeah, the world is going to be interesting. So, I guess it's the point and the things to take away from this, as I've been rambling for a while. We have to equalize the system. That's our job. So to find the right mix between the IT space, the chief digital officer space, the security space, to make organizations go faster. Anytime your security leader comes and tells you that we're here to make you go slower, please tell them they're wrong and give them my phone number. I'll help them get it straight. We exist to help organizations go faster, but safely, like the Formula One cars. And that means we have to equalize the way we invest in the power to drive forward and the power to slow down and to corner safely. We have to equalize that investment a little bit better. We also have to grow our observation aperture, as I talked about before. We have got to look at the world from angles we don't normally look at it from, and AI is massively powerful for that. Yeah, automation is massively powerful for that. So analysts, humans, they cannot do the work. It's impossible. It grows faster than human capital does. You cannot grow human intelligence and capacity as fast as the internet grows. It's impossible. Yeah, it's a gap that's going to continue to widen. So we have to learn how to leverage it better. We have to learn how to use it better. So, do you guys know how many security positions are open around the world? Are you security? How many vacant security positions are there in the world? Anybody know the answer? Roughly? Yeah, he knows the answer. 4.5 million. Lies. Say again? Lies. No problem. Let's call it 3 million. Let's call it 500,000. Say again? Yeah, I hope more do. Yeah, and here's why I say that. You're never going to solve the problem with people. You always need us, because we made it all. We run it all. You always need the person. But the more technology you have in your faces, the more crime you're going to have in your spaces, period. It's just a fact of life. It's going to happen. So you've got to have a method to scale as fast as technology grows. And the only way to do that is to use it to your advantage, to use it to widen your observation aperture, to improve and speed up your OODA loop, using technology to do this, innovating. I'm a big fan of innovating. I'm a big fan of getting rid of jobs that are just manual labor and don't bring anything so that we can do the higher order things that are important. And then the other one is to embrace the new DNA of society. Yesterday's operations cannot possibly protect the future. We can't use yesterday's brakes on tomorrow's cars. It doesn't work. You can't use yesterday's engines on tomorrow's cars. The world has fundamentally changed, and we have got to embrace this new DNA of society. So how many of you have tech debt in your organization? Such a small number of hands. Wow. All those the hands down. Let me ask you a different way. Who doesn't have tech debt? Yeah. So everyone's got this tech debt. And tech debt means you've left something running because it costs more to upgrade it than it does to just let it run and take the risk. But the longer you let tech debt run, the more money you're actually wasting in the long run. So we've got to embrace new DNA society. And then the other part is we've got to lead multi-generational teams. So I often, when I'm working on a large project trying to solve a problem, I don't ask the most experienced people how to solve it because I know what they're going to tell me. They come from the same world I came from. I go ask the people who are young, who have never done it before, who have interesting ways of seeing it. Or I go to a totally different industry and I ask the questions completely somewhere else and say, hey, how would you solve this problem? And they say, that's easy. I do it all the time in my industry. Oh, didn't know that. Yeah, that's called the verge, by the way. So I'll leave you with this. Whatever you do on a day-to-day basis, challenge your assumptions, okay? Do like you're doing here in this conference, right? Connect across departments, across silos, across industries to build true speed, to build real speed, to build safety systems that enable speed. You know, I would not want to be on the jet landing and the flaps don't come up because it's got to slow the plane down so you can land safely. You need things to slow you down at the right time. And there's high-risk operations all over the world we can learn from. We can learn from firefighters. We can learn from emergency responders. We can learn from Formula One race car drivers. There are tons of things in the world that happen extremely, extremely fast. And we're in an industry that moves faster than anything else. It moves at the speed of light. Technology moves at the speed of light. Yeah, so we can learn from very fast-moving operations and apply them in our world. And the other thing is to really look across domains and take things that you see in other locations that work really well, adopt them into yours, and break down silos. Just like we're doing in this meeting here, just like we're doing for the last 2 days, just like you guys do every day in your lives, reach out and connect and find people who come from different areas you do and build something together, and it'll be amazing and be fantastic. So thank you for your patience and your time. Have a great evening.
Thank you, Mike. That was such an engaging and amazing presentation. So before our dinner concludes, I know we probably still have dessert left to come. If you're anything like me, I wanted to mention that the night is still young. We're going to be opening up the hotel lobby bar after this. So I hope to see you all join us for some cocktails. I'm not sure when it closes, but I'll find out. So yeah, we hope to see you all there. Tomorrow breakfast is going to be at 8:30 a.m. Don't worry, there's going to be plenty of coffee. Also, if you're not extending your stay, I'd like to ask you guys, just bring down your luggage to us so we can store it safely for you. That way you won't have any issues with checkout. Tomorrow we have a fantastic breakfast panel. We're going to be discussing Beyond the Summit, realizing continued professional growth and motivation at the top of the organizational chart. Yeah, that's going to be 9 a.m. It's moderated by Lucas Kello. He's an associate professor and center director at Oxford University. And we've got an amazing all-star panel that's going to be joining. You guys are not going to want to miss it. Yeah, so enjoy your evening, everyone. Thank you for a great day. I know it's been a long one. I hope to see you all at the hotel bar. If not, I'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks.